This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
At Evernorth Health Services, we believe costs shouldn't get in the way of life-changing care, and we're doing everything in our power to make it possible. Behavioral health solutions that also keep your projections at their best? It's possible. Pharmacy benefits that benefit your bottom line? It's possible. Complex specialty care that cares about your ROI? It's possible. Because we're already doing it. All while saving businesses billions. That's Wonder made possible. Learn more at evernorth.com/wonder.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
What's poppin'?
What up, guys?
It's us.
I hope you guys are doing well. We are on almost episode 80. Yeah?
Very close.
Wow. Yeah. 80 already.
Yeah, almost
80.
Crazy.
I didn't even notice that.
So we have what you
We're doing
would
this
call...
more like professionals.
Yeah. We have a catalog you could go back and listen to a lot
if
of
MGM
stuff.
ever wants to think about purchasing our catalog, email me personally.
That's right.
Today's a good one.
Today is a good one.
Oh,
This is my own selection.
Okay.
There's no...
Eric's own rich guy selection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no... This is not from anybody. This is just something I wanted to do for a long time. And this is Bitcoin.
Oh, I've been wanting to do this one too.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Bitcoin.
I've been wanting to own Bitcoin for a long time. It's never did.
Digital currency, the new wave, the new everything.
Yeah, we got to tell them. You going to break it down?
We're going to break it down.
I was going to say,
What's
we got to start with
Bitcoin?
that.
I thought what we would do is we would make sure everybody knows what Bitcoin is.
Okay.
Totally. Yeah.
What blockchain is,
Yeah.
the basics are, and then we can kind of talk about...
And it's like the purpose. Like, why does it even exist?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is it?
So, Bitcoin is a type of digital money that you can use over the internet. Unlike traditional money, which is issued and controlled by a government...
Correct.
Bitcoin is decentralized. You will hear that word many times.
Yep.
And all that really means is, obviously, in terms of the financial system, and take America, all of our money is centralized. There's a central issuing authority who controls the value and the issuance of that money, which is the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah,
and so that is the central monetary source of all of our income.
And every country has their own version.
Correct.
Yeah.
Most countries have, most banking systems are centralized. Almost all of them are centralized. Yeah. But decentralized meaning it is not governed and it is not controlled by any one entity. It's in essence, the way that blockchain works is it is controlled by everyone. Everyone who owns it is part of the ownership and part of the authority which allows it to run.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. And to give you a simplistic difference between the two, so during 2020, when all of the businesses shut down, etc., our government, the U.S. government, and other governments out there decided to print more money to facilitate the shutdown of the country.
Yeah.
Well, they were also shelling out Stevie checks.
Yeah.
To facilitate one more week of groceries.
Yes.
But essentially, they decided to print more money. And you cannot do that with Bitcoin.
No.
Now, it's worth mentioning, during that time, they printed, what's the percentage of money in circulation? I think it was close to like 40%.
Yeah,
right?
It's about 40% over that time period. Yeah, 2020 to 2021. Yeah.
To 2020, yeah. So massive.
Yeah.
Massive
So-
amounts of money pumped into the economy,
Yeah.
which
And-
just basically devalues our fucking
Devalues
dollar.
our money, causes inflation, and then causes the pricing of things to skyrocket.
This is why you're paying basically $1 million for a shack nowadays,
Yeah,
for a
that's
house
right.
to live in.
So, and if you don't know the basic concept of supply and demand, so if you have a pizza or if you have a pie, and there are, like, for example, let's say Mickey Mantle signed baseballs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's say there were one.
It would be worth a fucking bazillion dollars.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So then Mickey Mantle goes out and he signs 10 more.
It devalues it. In essence, the value becomes is equivalent to the amount of available
more
items.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So then let's say he goes out and signs 1,000 more.
Yeah, then they become less valuable.
That's right. So if there are more of something, then the value of it is generally less.
Yeah,
Supply
correct.
and demand. Basic concept.
Basic
you know what I mean?
shit.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
So when your government prints more money, the value of the dollar that you have is less.
Yeah, look at Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
They have like $10 billion bills.
Yeah.
Like
or even
legitimate.
if you go down and
How much is a cheeseburger? It's going to be about $1 billion.
Yeah, like 18 billion.
So this is not a dig on South America, but South America went through a major hyperinflation.
Yep.
No, of course. And a lot of, almost all
yeah.
of South America, Venezuela, fucking.
And not
Chile.
just recently, but Venezuela did recently, but even Chile and Argentina, et cetera, they went through that. So, for example, I went to Chile and I had a dinner and I sat at the dinner. It was a great dinner, phenomenal, la la la. And then I went to pay the bill and it was 16, right? But then I looked at closer and it was 16,500.
Okay.
16,000.
So 16,500 Chilean pesos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's not a $16.
Right.
It would be like 16,000 US dollars. But the value of it, because there was hyperinflation, out of control.
Yeah, I mean,
Does that make sense?
So how much was that in dollars?
20.
$20.
$20.
Wow.
And you see it
It was
happen.
probably like some fancy steakhouse.
It was fantastic. Yeah, it was
I mean,
fantastic.
Eric only rolls on the fancy steakhouse, like
Yeah, it was fantastic.
economy class.
Actually, it was a
Economy Plus.
Economy Plus.
It was actually a Peruvian. I don't know if you've had Peruvian octopus, but it's almost like a
I can't say that I
purple-
have.
Yeah, whole story. We'll talk about it.
We don't got to get into all that.
The same thing happened.
You peasants don't know about an octopus, okay? We don't got to get into all
I'm like,
that.
what's that? Isn't that a mythical creature?
Yeah.
No, but the same thing happened before. For example, before Italy adopted the euro system, Italy was on the lira, and like lira was just like worth fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd have like, coins, 10,000 lira, and like it was just the value of the currency is so low that everyone has you get this exorbitant amounts. You even look at, it's not the same, but it's very similar in terms of like the equations of like yen.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Correct,
you have like
yeah.
100
Very
billion
much,
yen,
yeah.
but that's like
Correct.
that's like $1 million.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I know all about this. Like, my dad was a millionaire in Mexico.
Yeah.
Multiple times, but each time that there was a crash in the economy and in the peso,
So upsetting.
it was
and it's like you're broke.
We're peasants. We're peasants again.
You're like, I made $1 million, but then that million
worth
bought
like
you Taco
$18.
Bell.
Yeah. Taco Bell in Mexico.
Taco Bell in Mexico. Oh my god.
Sorry, that was.
You're like, oh no, I can't
that
even afford the
racist?
street tacos.
Was that racist?
I mean, I'm always
No.
gonna say you're racist.
Yeah.
So
What devil?
we pick on him.
What
too much.
devil?
God, Eric. Now they can see
El
you.
gringo.
They're like, gross.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure we understood some of the basic terms of digital currency and Bitcoin before we talk about conspiracies, because not everybody knows about it. So a couple of things, right? We already went over decentralized. So,
Correct.
so you guys understand
Basically,
that, yeah?
no one central bank is going to control this
That's
currency.
right.
Exactly.
That's right. So then there's something called a digital wallet. So to use Bitcoin, you need a digital wallet. So this is like an app on your phone or a computer, and it's a series of numbers or letters that is your destination wallet.
In essence, it's like your own personal IP. In essence,
There you go.
like
Exactly.
that's like an identification protocol. It's what allows you to have your unique footprint that allows you to claim your digital currency.
Your wallet. Yeah, exactly. So sending and receiving, when you want to send Bitcoin to someone, you enter Sean's Bitcoin address, which is like his email or his wallet number, etc. And the amount you want to send, the transaction is then verified by other computers.
And this is where we get into blockchain.
Yeah. And so that is blockchain, right? So thousands of computers around the world, they check the transaction of me sending $100 to him. They check and they verify. They check the log. They check the ledger, as they call it. And they make sure it's legit. They make sure it's, okay, this is Eric's wallet going to him. And they need multiple computers to do so.
Because it's like an individual. It's not like, oh, it's like just one thing is saying it. It's actually individually verified. So it's non-biased. It almost... It makes it impossible to fake, impossible to fuck that system over because it's independently verified by random. It just picks them at random. It picks random, it goes through random chains, and it's like, okay, this is now verified.
So depending on the cryptocurrency that you're using, usually it's about 7 to 10 verifications. So you're not lost. Remember the Boeing episode we did?
Yeah.
And we talked about like redundancy.
Oh yeah, they were like, at first it was the manager checks, and then it was like your homie checks.
Yeah.
Then it's like you just check it.
So now just imagine 7 to 10 stranger computers checking to make sure
just to verify
that your transaction is legit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that is the system of blockchain.
It's like peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now you've probably heard the word or concept of mining. Right? And now mining is confusing. I've tried to explain this to children. It's very confusing because it's not actually...
It's not like Roblox.
Yeah, it's not like a guy like, hey...
It's not a physical thing.
Yeah, get my paper out of here now. Yeah.
But it's the concept. It's the concept of what they're doing. Yeah.
So there are other computers or servers, etc., that are verifying your transactions.
Yeah.
And the way that they get paid is by a block reward. So when they verify so say Sean, I'm sending him $100 for the beer or the water, there are other computers that are verifying our transaction on the ledger, the quote unquote, the official ledger. Now your computer gets paid in a block reward
per how many transactions you verify.
That's right.
So that's why when people have they set up their giant mining rigs and there's all these computers, those computers are acting as part of the blockchain verifying millions and millions and millions and millions of transactions. And based on how many transactions you verify, you get rewarded with.
That's right.
So
that's why the whole mining craze happened, because you would set up a computer. Like back in the day, the original miners were just your normal computer with your normal graphics card.
Yeah, regular.
And you would mine like 10 Bitcoin a day because of because the value was so low.
Yeah, I thought it had to do with like breaking some fucking code or some shit.
Well, there is a mathematical
and they were like working all day long trying to break a code, and the computer's like doing his thing, and then it finally finds an answer, and it's like you're rewarded with a Bitcoin.
Yes, that is deeper into how they verify. Okay. It's how the computer verifies. So the more computing power, the more you're likely to verify the transaction.
Okay.
Yeah. So nowadays, because the value is so high, you see these like massive 100,000 square foot mining farms, and they need all this computing power in order to win the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
tons
it's a
of
mathematical.
Energy.
It's a
tons of energy. It's like super expensive to
hot.
keep it going.
You need air conditioning and all this sort of.
Well, it's also
kind of like this studio.
Like
we could be mining right now. I don't know.
Well, because if you think of like, imagine like someone's doing a transaction of like, hey, I'm sending 1,000 Bitcoins. It's like you're sending millions of dollars. It's not like they're going to be like 2 + 2 = 4.
Totally.
Verified.
Right.
Send it. Fucking
so
send it.
There is a deeper cryptography classification that probably would go over the heads of me and ourselves, right? And we're going to define the word cryptography in a second, and so that'll give you a little bit more like information about it, right? So that's mining, right? Now, with Bitcoin, there's 21 million Bitcoins
total. That is the max
ever.
Yeah.
Ever going to be created.
There's not like a new issue. It's like that's it.
And how many do we have in circulation right now?
It's about 18 million, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are something called block rewards, right?
Okay.
And it's what people are paid out on when they verify the transactions.
Okay.
Yeah. And every time, and you've probably heard of the concept of Bitcoin halving.
Yes.
A halving, right?
Yeah. We just had one.
Yeah, exactly. So every 4 years or so, give or take, this halving gets smaller and smaller.
Which basically means it's like they cut in half what's gonna be available.
Rewarded.
Yeah, the amount of rewards in Bitcoin given.
So basically, you could imagine it like this: you have a bunch of employees. You have 10,000 employees, and you're gonna get paid X amount for finding the coin or finding the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is going to be slowly reduced over time because the value in the supply and demand is finite.
It's also because the supply they're not going to keep giving out the same number of rewards when the supply is like, there's 100 left.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not going to give you out like,
exactly.
here's 10 bits.
Yeah, exactly.
So then what do all these like computers in these warehouses do if they're not going to get a transaction to verify?
Well, the way
and
eventually
then get rewarded.
Well, eventually it's going to end in decades.
No, but also
what do you mean?
No, he's
like
saying
the rewards will end.
He's saying like after all Bitcoin is in circulation.
Yeah.
So the idea behind it is that every individual everyone who owns it will be a part of the blockchain, and in order to keep the ecosystem alive, you have to be there verifying. Like, in order for the ecosystem to work, everyone's doing it for everyone.
But then you're not rewarded at that point.
No, because then it's just an ecosystem of currency.
Okay.
And in order to keep that alive, in order to keep it valuable, you have to be verifying transactions. Because if no one's verifying transactions, the Bitcoin
why would I want to keep verifying transactions? I'm not getting rewarded.
Well, do you want your Bitcoin to still have value?
But you got to think of it.
But if I'm just in it for the investment and I have this warehouse doing this shit
no,
right
but
now,
the thing is, like,
I'm gonna shut that shit down.
But that's gonna be we're talking 50 years.
Oh yeah.
But Jorge, think of it like say like you invested this money. Say you invest this money to get Bitcoin. Now you have Bitcoin. Don't you want to keep the value of that Bitcoin worth something?
I just fucking pay Robinhood a couple dollars to get some Bitcoin, and that's all I know.
It's like, fuck blockchain in my bread.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good question. But basically, we're talking decades.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like tomorrow.
Yeah, it's decades.
Okay.
Now you got to imagine though, like back when Bitcoin was being mined on people's gaming computers in 2010.
Yeah.
The value of the Bitcoin was 50 cents.
Yeah, it was like dirt.
When did you first find out about Bitcoin?
I was working at a company, and it was 2012, and an employee, and I don't know if he listens to this show, but his name's Gabe.
Yeah. And
he said, hey, we should buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, and it was like at $50.
He'd be literally a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like actual
and
billionaire.
we decided not to.
You were like, fuck that. What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
idiot.
What about you?
Yeah.
I found out this shit like fucking 5 years ago.
Okay.
Like,
I first heard about it when it was like 2017-ish, somewhere around there. So
what was the price?
I think it was around, at that time, I don't know, like $17 or so. It was less than 50.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like crazy high.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people were telling me like, no, this is the next thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't fucking get it.
That
What the fuck is
sense.
a cold wallet and a hot wallet and a fucking this and that?
Hot wallet.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is way too like confusing. Fuck it, I'm out. Right? But god damn it. I wish I would
hopefully this is a learned episode.
Yeah, right.
Because we're gonna go over all those terms real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go over that.
But just to make sure, like, you got to understand is that the rewards get smaller and smaller, but the value goes higher and higher.
Exactly.
Because there's scarcity. So like we were just saying, supply and demand.
That's right. So maybe in 2015, it was like 64 Bitcoin per reward.
Oh, okay.
But now it's 6.
Okay.
And then in 3 years, it's going to be 3. Mm. And that, you know what I mean? But the price is
$70,000.
$70,000 for one.
So we can compare this to like the current system, which is, well, it was supposed to be backed by gold.
Yeah.
And
correct.
gold is supposed to be finite, right? Supply and demand. You're not gonna have unlimited gold, right?
I mean, there's so much that has not been mined, but
it's true. But that was the
granted,
idea,
it's not unlimited,
I guess, right? So then it gets to a point where if we were to find like this gold mine and it had like 10 times what we have right now, well, then it's like, oh, well, we could just print more money. So then the value of the thing goes down.
That's
okay.
right.
Well, now, but now there's no gold standard.
Yeah, but now there's
Now here's the thing. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit pro Bitcoin, but
a little bit.
You can't print more.
No.
So that's the beautiful part about it.
It's not like Ethereum where they can just like technically they can make more if they wanted to, or
you
like
can't.
Oh, that's a whole.
It's
like
not like
Solaris
it's not
or
like
any of the other ones
it's not like the government though. It's not like your dad who made all this money, and then all of a sudden the fucking politician
they're like,
said,
we need a little
fucking
bit more.
print it out, Mexico. You know what I mean? And then your dad's fucked. You know what I mean? So, so a couple other terms we want to make sure we understand. One is a hard fork compared to a soft fork.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never even heard this before in my life.
Yeah. Okay, so you have probably seen that there are 1,000 different coins.
Yeah, there's a million.
Why?
There's Boopcoin.
Boopcoin,
by the way,
baby.
you guys are watching. Yeah. Eric started Boopcoin, and we need some backup.
I know. I wish he started.
We need Boopcoin to the moon.
Boopcoin to the moon. I wish he started.
I did not start.
I would be like, I would have a billion shares of Boopcoin right now.
So there's a reason why there's all these different coins, and there's all these alterations. So just imagine the Bible.
Oh, and it's like that it's made like there was the original.
Yes.
And then they're like,
this is the exact
this is the New Testament, baby.
100%. So how many different variations are there of the Bible religions?
Like 80 plus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is what the crypto market is.
They're literally just trying to duplicate what happened with Bitcoin.
Do they even do anything different? Like
yes, each of them do something different.
Okay.
Each of them
or
has
is it
their
just like
own...
a new name? Like
no,
fucking
each of them has their own
Boopcoin, and
so there's something So a hard fork, let me just say
do that, and then we'll get to that. Yeah.
So just imagine you have a path, right? And a path, which is a ledger. And it's a bank ledger. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So you have Sean and I did $100. You and I did this. We went to fucking Chipotle. We had double meat. We did that.
Yeah.
And all these things are forever recorded on this ledger.
Okay.
Yeah? So you have a timeline. So then let's say a bunch of people go, you know what? This needs to be optimized and this needs to be changed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a fork in the road.
Okay.
And we're going to keep the ledger up until the date of the fork. And we're going to go off into another road. Right? Which is Bitcoin Cash. Have you ever heard of Bitcoin Cash?
Nope.
Okay, there's a bunch of different ones that are like this, right?
So there's like a bunch of different variations of Bitcoin.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, and they took a fork and they said, oh, well, it's too slow. So we're going to speed it up by raising the data limit on the transactions. Yeah. Whatever. Like something blah, blah, blah.
Technical.
Yeah. So they change it and they create a fork. And if it's a hard fork, then that literally is a new ledger from that date forward.
Okay.
Yeah?
Cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what a hard fork is.
And then they just name it something else.
Correct. Yeah. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Lite, Bitcoin King, Bitcoin tits.
Yeah, but what
Bitcoin whatever.
What about like those like the Dogecoin, for example?
Yeah.
Same shit. Just different name. Different name.
Now, you
same
can
concept,
also
but name.
you can also mimic it like Litecoin, for example. Litecoin was created by a person named Charlie Lee. And at the beginning of Bitcoin, he was like, whoa, this is amazing, but it's too slow. So he copied the code and created his own coin at the same time.
Okay.
Essentially.
And like there's what's called like there's utility coins.
Yeah.
And like a utility coin is like something that actually, if there is a service, there is a utility for it. Like so there's a use. And then there's like Dogecoin, which is purely meme. It does nothing. There is nothing that
absolutely
it does.
Nothing.
It does absolutely nothing. There is no usability. Whereas like other coins actually have like back end usability and like the back end framework to do different things.
I feel like this is giving me like 2017 vibes again, and I'm just like, this is so fucking overwhelming.
Like,
fuck it.
Conspiracy.
But I think that's a lot of people that they just don't get it.
It's
and
hard.
Like,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Shit. Like I don't get it. I'm out.
But I figured we would go over the basics and try to like make sure we
good.
understand the concept before we even talk about the conspiracy of it, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
We'll get there. We're getting there.
So then there's something called a soft fork. So the hard fork is where you do it's a whole new ledger, it's a whole new like a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Soft fork is when the developers just say, hey, we need to do an upgrade. And we stay on the same path.
But it's like a little bit better.
Yeah. It's a little upgrade.
Little tweak.
So those are the differences. That's soft.
And it's probably like what they did, like,
fork and-
because I remember at one point, like, transaction costs.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to like exchange like $10 worth of Bitcoin, it would cost you like $400.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It doesn't work.
Like,
Yeah, it
why am
doesn't
I
work.
doing this?
Yeah, it doesn't work. So for example, like me sending you money at dinner, say we go out to dinner.
And then you're going to cash at me?
Yeah. It doesn't work to send a Bitcoin when it's a $20 transaction fee.
Yeah.
So they created these offshoots that were
Farms got to get paid.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Okay.
So that, any questions?
Got it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
We're good.
Okay, good. So now we can kind of talk about Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
How we get to the good shit.
Okay, Bitcoin's story began in the chat rooms of the internet.
Of course, where everything begins. Like
Amidst-
Reddit.
Called Reddit. Yeah.
Reddit, the genesis of life.
It was amidst the turmoil of the 2008 financial crisis.
Of course, because everyone's like, fuck the financial systems.
Yes.
An unknown entity using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And that was on October 31st, 2008.
Okay.
This is right in the heart of the crash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was right around March, April-ish, May that they had the
Everything
real
went
big
everything
crash
went
in
tits up.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
Lehman
if-
Brothers fails.
Yes.
So if you don't know what a white paper is, it's basically just a mission statement of a technology.
Okay.
So like it's just going over, this is the technology, the purpose.
Like the Jerry
how does
Maguire
it
of
work.
Bitcoin,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what's considered a white paper. And so he wrote the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay.
Yeah. The document detailed a decentralized digital currency that promised to eliminate the need for trusted third parties like a bank. Nakamoto's vision was radical, a financial system that operated on cryptographic principles rather than institutional trust. Okay?
Yep.
So now cryptography. What is cryptography? Cryptography is essentially how to encode and make a secure communication from A to B.
Yeah, it's like an encryption.
There you go.
Yeah.
100%. Okay?
I mean, same shit that like WhatsApp or like Signal
Yeah, it's encrypted.
Yeah.
uses.
In essence, it's like there's a code
Yeah.
that you need to break in order
That's
to
the
access
basic-
that data.
That's the basic definition of cryptography. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not a cryptographer. I don't, I'll get a lot of shit for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there you go. That's the basic definition of it. Yeah. On January 3rd, 2009, Nakamoto mined the first block of Bitcoin, known as the Genesis
I
block.
love that the Genesis block's like fucking, oh, it's like a fucking movie.
So he inscribed the now famous message, "The Times, 03 January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks."
That sounds cryptic as fuck.
Yeah.
Chancellor?
So what he's
Who's
talking
the
about
fucking
though,
chancellor?
is remember in 2008 there was the crash,
Yeah.
and then 2009 is when they started bailing out all the.
Oh, of
banks.
course.
Okay.
All the banks that fucked everybody over, they're like,
Right.
we need you.
Yeah.
So
So and
this
all the
was a-
CEOs getting their bonuses.
Yeah.
I know, right?
millions of
Golden,
dollars.
Yes.
golden parachutes.
So this was a direct commentary on the instability of traditional banking system and underscored the impetus behind Bitcoin's creation and the genesis.
I mean, if there was ever a great time to roll this
I
out,
mean-
I mean, it was like, he was waiting. He was like,
Wasn't
he was like finger on
I
the
mean,
trigger,
the
like, come
timing.
on, baby.
The timing is incredible,
yeah.
honestly. But I mean, maybe that the timing of it was created the urgency to do it.
Or maybe he like saw like the writing on the wall, like, okay, shit's
Yeah.
gonna go tits up. Like I should probably, there's
Yeah.
probably a better way.
Yeah.
Or there's a more sinister theory.
I know,
We'll get into it.
I know we will.
So initially, Bitcoin only attracted the group of cryptographers. So it was like
The
very
nerds. The nerds like
yeah,
Eric,
it was very
Eric,
like
and-
Eric's like,
yeah.
he's like, I need a loan for a computer.
So it was very like enthusiasts on a chat.
Of
board,
course,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. Oh, we created this thing.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
Guess I'm like
the fanatics, so the Roaring Kitty
Yes.
fanatics.
The guys on like 4G.
No,
No,
no.
it was like the guys on like 4chan, like deep in the
Yes.
fucking interwebs. Like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit.
Oh, okay.
So early adopters were driven by ideological beliefs in decentralization and privacy rather than financial gain. It was more like give the money back to the people.
Yeah, and it's also
compared to I'm rich, man. You know, like that whole culture, right?
It was also like impossible for you to send like the only way for you to send money to people is through the bank. Yeah. There's no other way. It's like you can't even for example, even like Cash App and Venmo, there's limits.
They track all that.
They track it all, and there's limits, and that's still going through financial systems.
Right. I can't Cash App you fucking $100,000.
Yeah, if I want to send it, and like you're gonna pay you're paying whatever the bank's transaction fee. But it's all like like how do you stay off the grid and like still get money?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
So Nakamoto continued to work on the development of it and to like improve the Bitcoin technology alongside another small group of contributors. It was all via email and chat boards and that sort of thing. By 2010, Nakamoto handed over the network key and the control of the code to Gavin Andresen, who's that? Who was a prominent developer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In May 2010, Bitcoin's first real-world transaction took place when Laszlo paid $10,000 Bitcoin
for 2 pizzas. Yeah.
For 2 pizzas.
Oh shit!
I remember that guy getting interviewed, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Now, keep in mind at that time,
I try not to think about it.
Yeah, right,
Bob.
Like that would have been me in the bedroom reading a book with some barbiturates, some liquor.
Every night.
I know, like please just end it.
now keep in mind, at the time you could mine like 100 Bitcoin a day.
I know, and also Bitcoin was worth like 2 cents. Exactly. It was like fucking dirt.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the value of those pizzas was like $50-$60.
Yeah.
Okay.
For 10,000.
Can you imagine?
Yep. But now it's upsetting because it would have been billions of dollars.
Billions.
I don't know the math, but
10,000 times 70,000. It's like
I don't even want to do that.
I know, it's like there's too many zeros.
Our calculator's not going to work.
I think it's like 7 billion. I think it's 7 billion.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
10,000. No, I think it's 700 million.
10,000 times 70,000.
700 million.
700 million.
Yeah.
Okay. That was close. 1 0 off.
Yeah. So this event marked the first transaction in the real world. Mm-hmm. Because before there's no marketplace, there's no Coinbase, there's no place to do anything. There's no eBay, there's no nothing. It was the first time. It was like a message board where it was like, "Hey, I'll give you 10,000 for this. You give me like a 22 lever action. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's.
He's like, cool, sold.
So
yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
I know. I would love to be like that pizza guy now. He's like fucking, fucking best of my life.
So Satoshi Nakamoto though is one of the more intriguing parts of the story because he created this under that pseudonym.
Yep.
And
fucking vanished.
But his identity remains a mystery. Despite extensive investigation and speculation, no one has proven who Nakamoto is. The person or group behind this name has remained elusive, and he disappeared in 2011.
You sure it's not this Gary Anderson guy who gave the key to you?
Yeah.
He's like, he gave the key to Gary Anderson.
So Nakamoto first appeared on the scene in 2008 with the publication of the white paper. He laid out the fundamental principles of peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The genius of Nakamoto's design lay in solving the double spend problem without the need for a central authority. So it was the mining.
Yeah.
That was the genius of it. Was like it was the redundancy. It was
like, hey, you verify the transaction and you get a little kickback from it.
Yes, that's right. Okay. In April 2011, Nakamoto sent his last known email to a fellow Bitcoin developer stating he moved on to other things.
All right, he's probably like the fucking chairman of the fucking Federal Reserve Bank right now. Like,
Since then, Nakamoto vanished. He's left no traces of his true identity, and nobody knows who he is.
Wow.
I mean,
of all the that's like the best story of all. Like
he's like, I leave you with this. Goodbye.
Isn't that insane?
That's weird.
It's a little bit insane.
It's insane because it's now a multi-trillion-dollar market.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah. So Nakamoto's disappearance.
I'm super surprised like no one's come out on their deathbed. I'm Satoshi Nakamoto.
No, some people have.
I bet they
some people have.
DB Cooper.
We're gonna go.
I am DB Cooper and Satoshi.
We're gonna go over a couple of these people, but so Nakamoto's disappearance fueled speculation, intrigue. Several theories have emerged over the years about his identity. Some believe Nakamoto is a single individual, while others suspect that he's a group of people.
He's like
others suspect that he's a group of scientists from the government trying to create a one world order.
Yeah, that's the one I've heard. Maybe Satoshi's like it's like Fight Club. It's like they're all fucking Tyler Durden. They're all fucking,
right?
I am Satoshi.
So here are the top. I guess you would call them the top possibles of Satoshi.
Okay.
Yeah. One is Hal Finney. Hal Finney is a renowned cryptographer and the first person to receive a transaction from Nakamoto. So it is verified that he received the first transfer.
So of course, smartly, you probably
so
send it to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of it.
Let's see what happens here.
So even if he's not Satoshi, he's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he received the first.
He somehow
one.
knows him somehow.
Yeah. Finney was heavily involved in the early development of Bitcoin and had the technical expertise to do it. However, Finney consistently denied being Nakamoto and maintained that he was simply an enthusiastic supporter. Now, he died a few years ago, and that's the end of it.
How did he die?
I think it was Parkinson's.
Okay.
And then he slowly
Fine.
digressed into just being in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And then
he wasn't like alcohol and barbiturates.
No,
he wasn't like
no,
reading a book.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a sad story because I bet he's a billionaire right now.
Well, he would have.
Or his wallet would have.
Yeah,
been.
his wallet's a billionaire. His wallet.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he just
100%, for sure.
It's kind of a sad story. Actually.
It's kind of crazy how it adds to the scarcity because that Bitcoin is lost.
Oh yeah,
And-
if you don't have
and
the
tons of
key,
Bitcoins.
you're fucking. It's dead. It
Yeah.
does cease to exist.
Yeah.
So then that means like the scarcity is even more.
Well, the thing
right?
that's wild is like you see all these like random wallets will come online after 10 years,
I
and they have like $800 million worth of Bitcoin. And they're like, what the fuck?
Another one is Nick Szabo. He's a frequent mentioned name, and he's a computer scientist and cryptographer known for his work on digital contracts and currency. His creation of BitGold, a precursor to Bitcoin, shares many of the similarities of Bitcoin's design. So there was another digital currency created earlier. It's called BitGold.
Just didn't catch on.
It just didn't catch on. Okay. Yeah. So, and some people say, oh, we've analyzed his writings and it's very similar and that sort of thing. But there you go. Dorian Nakamoto, this one's hilarious. This is in 2014, a Newsweek article claimed that Dorian Nakamoto, a Japanese American living in California, was the creator of Bitcoin. The article pointed to various circumstantial pieces of evidence, but Dorian denied any involvement, saying he never even heard of Bitcoin until his name was involved.
This
now,
is
he's
like
kind of like an older.
This is like a random dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking
and he's
about?
kind of like an older man, and his name's Dorian Nakamoto. But it's hilarious because the media, when it took off originally,
They're like anonymous source.
Yes.
He is the one.
Yeah, so they were like, Dorian's the guy, just because he happens to have Nakamoto.
He doesn't even own a computer. He's like, what are you talking about?
I don't buy it. He seems super aloof. And
It's like a dude.
Yeah, that sort of thing. The other one is Craig Wright. Now, most people in the crypto markets hate Craig Wright because he constantly says publicly that he is the creator.
Oh, so everyone's like, bullshit.
Yeah. He's the guy that you're talking about. Like on the deathbed, but he's not even on his deathbed.
I mean, he's alive. Like, I am him.
No, he constantly says, I am him.
What if he actually is? And he's like, please believe me. I swear. I did it. Like, they're like, shut up, fucking loser.
So here's the weird part about it. He has provided evidence that people suspect that he doctored to prove that he's him because he said he wanted to get the keys to the original wallet.
Oh, how much is in that?
And he went to court, and it was determined that it wasn't him, but he continues to say that it was him.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you. I am him.
I'm a patsy.
Just give me that trilly. Just give me that trilly.
yeah, exactly.
I swear.
Most people think it's pretty absurd, and he's kind of like a guy just
trying to get paid.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So then, of course, then there are the conspiracies, and we'll get to the end on the conspiracies.
Yeah, read the last one. What's the last one on there?
Well, the other theory is that it's the government finally.
Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
After decades going, this is the one world. Like, they couldn't do it with the euro, right? Like because
not
they
the
tried
euro.
to,
You mean the Amero?
Well, they tried to make the euro like the euro
okay.
is
That's
a
another one,
European
Unit,
currency over like what 15 countries.
Yeah,
something crazy.
Yeah.
And so the idea of the conspiracy of the government is that they are creating a one world, new world order.
There's another conspiracy about that too, but I will wait.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wait to the end.
Yeah. So we're just going to go over a couple of things on the timeline so you guys are caught up to present day.
Okay.
And so in 2001, there was something called the Silk Road. You ever heard of the Silk Road?
Yeah, that's where people are buying fucking like heroin and shit.
Yeah, so this is Ross Ulbricht, and he was under the pseudonym Dead Pirate Roberts.
Love it.
And he created, I mean, it actually made sense, which was before 2011, there was nowhere that there was no marketplace.
No.
There was no place to
use cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly. So there was nowhere to do it. So he created something called the Silk Road.
Okay.
Right? And the Silk Road, unfortunately,
this became like the black market.
Yeah,
like,
he took it too far, and he said anything.
Yeah, whatever you want.
There's like a whole movie about it, right?
Yeah, there's a whole movie, and I think it's called Silk Road.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was making millions in a day and crashing and this, but he was also selling Uzis.
Dude, selling everything.
Drugs, anything. So it was taking freedoms too far.
Yeah, it was like way too much.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like,
there's obviously a limit of what you should be selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2013,
freedom of Bitcoin, but you don't have freedom of selling.
Yeah, fucking like human
and
rights.
guns.
Like,
yeah.
So in 2013, the FBI shut down Silk Road and arrested him, seizing 144,000 Bitcoins in the process.
Oh, the government's like, we're going to need that.
Yeah.
So that was a massive hit to the Bitcoin world, and the price crashed, and there was no more market.
144,000 Bitcoins, that's like over 10 billion.
Yeah.
That's almost 20 billion.
The hit is like it just got associated with this like underground fucking black market,
dirty coins.
Yeah,
and, this
dirty
coins. Yes,
dirty
this is
coins.
a drug thing. All the
war on drugs, man.
Yeah, all the financial analysts are like, this is for criminals.
Yeah.
This currency is not real, and it's for criminals. Yeah.
Well, the media. Financial media, just pushing that narrative. But anyway,
Trust your banks.
We'll
Trust
keep
your
going.
banks.
Yeah, exactly.
Open an account.
So then, going forward a little bit, there was an exchange, like a marketplace. So they started to kind of build up and get into marketplaces. The price started to rise. It was all great. Everybody was making money. And one of the earliest exchanges was called Mt. Gox. And it was originally a platform for trading magic cards.
Fuck yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
I used to love playing Magic.
But it was repurposed for Bitcoin
Nerd.
by trading and later sold. At that time, Mt. Gox handled 70% of all transactions for Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
Woo. Yeah. But in 2014, it was hacked.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. Like all good things come to an end. Like,
it was hacked, and they admitted and they filed for bankruptcy, and approximately 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen, which was about $500 million at the time.
Oh my God. That is like literally like $70 billion right now.
Yeah. I want to know.
So it caused a collapse, a massive drop, and it actually put Bitcoin into the darkness. Like it put Bitcoin into a dark.
Yeah, the dark.
2 or 3 years.
What year was this?
2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't really have the prices with me, but essentially,
I have them right here. Actually,
dark.
Let's see. Yep, that's when it actually was the first crash. You can see here. We
Yeah.
can put this graph up for you guys.
Yeah,
but
we'll put up.
So I guess it was like about
$1,000.
No,
dude, it was
no,
like maybe like
maybe
20 bucks.
Oh, okay.
20, 30
and then
bucks.
what did it crash to?
That's when
no,
it crashed.
that's when it crashed.
Oh,
2014.
what was it up to?
It was over 1,000. It was spiked at 1,200.
Yeah.
So just imagine you have 10 at 1,000.
And you're like
and you have
killing
10 grand,
it,
and it goes down to $20.
And you're like,
that is like 90%, 95%. Anyways, yeah.
That's the story of my life, though. Every time I fucking buy this shit, it's always at the top.
Yeah. So after 2014, Bitcoin's narrative began to shift. Venture capitalists started to flow into Bitcoin. Startups. It became like that from a marketing standpoint. It became the gold, like the gold
rush,
of
baby.
digital currency gold.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it just started to grow. It started to grow. The technology started to evolve in 2017. With upgrades, speed, capacity. They started doing forks. That's when Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin SVE, all the forks started to happen, etc. Right, and so that's also when it started to get regulatory scrutiny, and legal status.
Of course, the man's gonna want to get a little taste.
I can't tax this.
I know.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
So right now,
I need my 2% transaction fee, sir.
So right now, it's not really dubbed a currency, but it's dubbed an asset. It's a difference because you're paying more taxes on your gains.
Yeah, capital gains tax.
Yeah.
You're not paying
legal
like income tax.
Yeah, there's all these legal ramifications of it. So you have on one side, you have the conspiracy and the people who are, I guess, our financial leaders who kind of consider Bitcoin to be a criminal's haven.
But I mean, nowadays, it's
getting
now they're all like,
less and
they're
less.
like, buy this shit up.
Less. But
it did start that way, though.
Here's the point: is in a bank transaction, the government can track anything above 10 grand, or what is it, 5 grand?
10 grand.
Anything above 10 grand
needs to be registered.
Anything under 10 grand is flagged, and like they'll actually flag it.
Cryptocurrency, no,
doesn't matter. Nothing can be seen.
It's all hidden.
But it's also like you look at like what, for example, everyone uses credit cards, and this was the great fucking play by the financial systems. Everyone uses credit cards. Now, look, every credit card you're paying, like most places who take credit cards, well, almost all places who take credit cards have to pay processing fees to process that money. And while it's a small percentage, 1% to 2%, sometimes 3%, like 3% of a fucking billion transactions a day.
Yes.
It's like crazy amounts of money.
That's why Visa is one of the top.
It's so much fucking money. It's crazy amounts of money. So it's like, obviously you want to control the use and how it can be used. It's so much money.
Oh
yeah. That's right. So Bitcoin's journey from an obscure white paper for 0.0005% of a coin or of a price has gone global. It's a digital asset, and it's turned into a multi-trillion-dollar industry. The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is a mystery still, but what's strange or not strange about it is you can still see his wallet.
How much is in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how much is in his wallet?
You can Google what his wallet is, and you can go see it. And
so
it hasn't moved.
Did he have to
it's
publicize that?
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Wow.
And it's just sitting there.
He doesn't have to, but it's a.
But
public,
he did.
That's the whole point of
how
Bitcoin. It's a public ledger.
Yeah, it's public ledger.
Yeah, but how do you know that's his? Is my point.
How
do I know that's yours? How do I know
the reason why is because he did the first block.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you
you
can see it.
You go on the ledger.
Yeah,
he's the first. He's the first one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Okay.
So and it hasn't
hundreds
moved.
of billions.
I mean,
well, and that's the only reason they
verify.
That's the only reason they know it's his. But like otherwise, like for example, like you'll see wallets that'll come online, and there's people who track wallets that become active. And you don't know who it is because it's just a random string of numbers.
And that's part of the
anonymity.
The
and they'll be like, oh, hey, this person has X amount of dollars, just fucking came active, but you don't even know fucking who it is.
They just say another whale.
Yeah, another whale, but you knew it was Satoshi because it was like the number one.
Of course.
So Satoshi's wallet is 600,000 Bitcoin.
Ooh.
Wow.
Which is estimated today around 50 billion.
Oh my God.
I am Satoshi. Surprise!
Surprise!
I'm going to need Gary to give me the network key back.
But you see, like, it hasn't moved because you can see every transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't even sold one. Yeah.
Watch it like literally like December 17th.
2024, it's like Satoshi sells, like liquidates all Bitcoin.
Right, so then the question becomes: does he have such moral fiber of his vision of the white paper
that he can't do,
or is he dead?
Or did he ever really exist?
So, in other words, does he have diamond hands?
The original diamond hands.
The original.
That's right. No, that's right.
The original.
I mean, that
he's waiting till it hits 100K.
Let's assume he's alive, right?
Okay.
I think it could be that.
He's like going 100K, maybe?
He knows it's going to go into multiple hundred thousands eventually.
And then he's the richest man in the universe.
Well,
and he's like fucking.
I mean, yeah, no, that's a good point. Like,
He's like,
what are you gonna do with another 20 billion? I already got 50.
It's so much.
It's so much fucking money.
Amount of money.
Okay, but
So
what happens?
so you're telling me he's never sold even one? Yeah. So it's either it's got to be lost.
I mean,
it's got to be
the
lost.
original transactions are there, meaning he did send some.
Yeah, but then that was after that.
But that was like you could see it
was
in
like
the
test.
emails, and he said, "I sent this to you."
Yeah.
Or like
check it, check your wallet,
and that's when it was like at the beginning stages.
Yeah, that's right.
Oof.
Also, another question posed: what happens if it moves?
People start panicking.
Fucking crash!
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Satoshi just sold all of his Bitcoin. Everyone's like,
are you kidding?
Bitcoin goes to literally
Well, that's
zero.
like the GME guy. He starts selling.
I know.
Oh, it's
right?
fucking
Everybody's
tough.
gonna start selling with him.
I know.
God.
But it's even more than Roaring Kitty.
Well, and
way
and,
more than.
and there's
Like
also
50 billion.
And there's
It's
also
just-
like
yeah,
there's
no, you're
there's
right.
SEC laws about like how much you can sell when you blah 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 blah. Like there's
Yeah.
no fucking law. Like he can sell all the Bitcoin right now. There ain't nobody gonna stop him.
Wait. So you're saying if I had $1 billion of a stock, like I can't just sell it?
There's
Depends.
it depends on the
Depends.
percentage.
Yeah.
For example, if you own more than 5% of a stock, you have to file a specific form with the SEC
Yeah.
before you can sell, and like they have to like
And it can't
make
be-
sure you're not like fucking like
Because
you
it
can
can't be
just
news related.
yeah.
It has to be almost like a random.
Yeah.
Meaning you
yeah.
can't sell prior to earnings if you know the
Yeah,
earnings are
exactly.
bad.
No, they won't let you. Yeah, it's like the quarterly earnings about to
Yeah.
come out, and you're like, I think I'd like to sell. All they're like, no. You have to wait until the public has the same data that you have, especially if
Okay.
you're an insider. Well, especially if you own 5%, you're an insider.
You're an insider. Yeah.
Like you know shit that's
Okay.
going on there.
Right. But with Bitcoin's not the case.
No, Bitcoin I sell tonight.
Also, Bitcoin is not a public company.
Right.
No, yeah,
It's
it's
just like-
just a coin. It's nothing.
It's owned by everybody.
Nothing. Yeah. So today, Bitcoin is nearly at $70,000 per Bitcoin. It has an average daily trading volume of almost $30 billion
It's fucking crazy.
every day.
It's like insane.
With only 21 million coins ever to be in existence, it rivals gold because there's a scarcity of it. And so there we go. I mean, the concept is that the scarcity continues.
Yeah.
And that's why it continues to
continues to grow.
And
There's less of it every day.
yeah. So there's no possibility of printing more. So in theory, there's no reason why it shouldn't keep going up
Forever.
forever.
Ad infinitum.
So I have many questions.
Yes.
I have many questions. One, Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is he? Where is he? And what happened?
Well, there's a theory that I thought was really interesting, and I'm bringing this up now because it might tie into who Satoshi is.
Okay.
I forget who said this, but it was like, in essence, the governments created Bitcoin to create a distrust of the the true financial markets and true assets and true true money. Get everyone interested in this so that they can just own everything. And by the time it fucking tanks out or fails and people want to go back, they literally own everything that's of actual value they own. They're tricking you into thinking that this thing it could be valuable with the concept of it being, obviously people are going to gravitate to, oh, it's decentralized, oh, it's anonymity, all this stuff, get you to do that knowing that at any point in time they can just pull the plug on it or just like make it fucking bullshit. And then,
I hope not. That's so dark.
I know I'm saying it's a dark theory. It's a dark theory. It's like, cool, we create this to create distrust in the financial markets so that the financial markets can be, because obviously the financial markets, the big thing is that people can
can be owners of all of these institutions, and then you could have a say, and like you have like voting rights.
It's controlled.
But if you then get all the regular fucking Joe Schmoes out, then it's just only fucking controlled by all the people who are on the ins. You try to get back in, it's like it's going to cost you. Oh, you can get back in at a premium. So I thought that was an interesting theory. Granted, that was like a super long play. You know, it's like a 14-year play.
We did talk when we did the Rockefellers episode. Remember we talked about long plays?
Oh, dude, they were all about. They were like generational plays. They're thinking like for my grandkids.
I can only think until like maybe August.
That's too far. That's too far for me, bro.
They're like thinking,
I'm thinking to next week. Yeah. I'm like, next week, am I good? Like, am I gonna make it?
All right.
So I think that maybe Satoshi is just he's a figurehead. He's just part of the system, part of the trial. I think that my personal belief is that Bitcoin was done as a trial to see what would happen, and also as not maybe it kind of evolved into a way to like, oh, okay, now we can manipulate people out. But I think it was a way to test what would happen, because you got to think of it from their viewpoint. It's like, if someone else does this and it takes off and we're not in control, we're fucked. So let's see what happens. And then they just so happen to create the fucking the gold standard, and they're like, oh, okay.
Well. Which government was the one behind it?
Oh, U.S., of course.
Okay.
100%. No, without a question.
Because this is a global.
It's a global thing, but it started
currency,
Can
I call it a currency?
Yeah. But it started in the U.S.
Global digital
asset.
It started in the U.S.
By a Japanese?
Yeah. Well, Satoshi it was under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, but it started in the U.S. Yeah. So that's why I think it's 100% the U.S. government. Because if it wasn't, why would they start it here?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to like, shit, now it's like fucking like, you would start it in your own country. So that's my
But if
theory.
it was started by the government like that, you don't think like other governments, like let's say the Chinese government would have figured that out, and then like
the Chinese government owns a lot of Bitcoin.
Dude, exactly.
A lot of countries are buying Bitcoin.
Well, actually, that's actually bad. If it was the U.S. government,
I think, but I think
it's bad for us because they're owning all that shit. It's like gold and
it's
steel.
not, because if they actually own it, all they need to do is like activate Satoshi's wallet, dump it, fucking boo. You imagine, like remember, like Eric said, imagine if Satoshi's wallet activated and he dumped all of it.
Right.
The trust in Bitcoin would just vanish, and then everyone dumps it, and then and all the money that China and all these other countries dumped is all worth zero.
So is that part of the strategy?
Maybe it is. Get everyone, buy it all, dump it,
dump it, crash it, and now everybody's broke. Which we can control even more now.
Oh, dude, what if they bump it up? They cash out Satoshi's thing. They're like, sweet, we just got like a couple $100 billion, dope. And then everyone else dies, and then we're like, yeah.
So scary because nowadays all the big players are in Bitcoin. Like all the big money.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we didn't even get into the fact that now. Okay, so it started off as like the black sheep of the financial markets, but nowadays, all the hedge funds and all these like big institutional banks,
ETFs,
they got into this thing called ETFs, which stands for electronic traded funds, which just basically means it's like a created stock that invests in Bitcoin, but you can buy into shares of that, right?
A little bit sheltered, a little bit.
Yeah. So my point is like they're all making money, and so now it just normalizes it even more.
Right.
This is a hard one, honestly. Like this is there's. But
So
if I had to say something,
first off,
okay,
Satoshi,
yeah.
the guy.
First
emails.
question was, who is he? Does he exist, etc.?
There's emails from him. There's the guy. He created it.
Oh, if somebody sends an email, they have to be real.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I know, but I'm
That's
just
so
saying.
loose.
I'm just saying it is a persona.
And there's like three emails from him.
That's what it is. It's a persona.
Somebody created it.
I don't think it was a real person.
No.
No.
Oh God.
I think that my theory would have to be around like that. The government was behind that because of the whole. You remember I mentioned Amero, and there was a time that there was some.
They were thinking about it.
There was a push for this whole digital currency. Now, if you think about it, like we do credit cards, that's already digital currency, right?
Yeah.
So we're already kind of used to that, but they don't. They don't really control everything.
No.
Not fully, right? So then, okay, so if we come out with this other thing that's supposed to be anti-government, right? But if they're behind it, they keep the control, and now they're able to roll out people
think they have control. They're like, I'm in control, and they're like, yeah, you are.
But now it's not just an Amero, which was supposed to be Canada.
It was just North American unit. So
North America.
Canada, Mexico, and
America's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. But now...
We're good.
Nah.
Sorry, Canada.
Mexico.
They're like, how much the peso worth? We're good.
We're good.
It's kind of like it's probably like England did in the European Union. They're like, fuck this. Yeah. We're sick of paying for all your shit. We're out of here.
Keep it with the sterling pound.
I know.
But now it's actually not just that. Now they went global with this shit, and so now we get into the big
euro.
No, I'm talking about Bitcoin.
No, I know, but
the Amero failed.
Yeah.
The Amero failed, so that's why I'm saying they came up with this strategy so that thinking long term, the very long game, because everything has to be so like gradient, little by
little nugget.
little by little.
That's a C. That's a C. Okay. Like that's that long term play.
Yeah. That's the only way you can control mass populations. It has to be
Billions
little by little. Otherwise, if it's too drastic, then
that's when you get like fucking you get usurped.
You get the revolution.
Yeah, you get revolutions. Like they fucking hang you in the fucking courtyard.
You get COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
For real, like think about that. Like versus stay home. Then it's like, oh, you got to do 6 feet. Oh, then you got to do a mask.
Yeah.
And it's like
stay in place. What was it called?
They're gonna do the mirror.
No. Stay in shelter.
Stay safe.
Shelter in place.
Bunker down.
Yeah, something weird thing. I'm like, what?
Which, by the way, just on that quick thing on that topic, Fauci testified and was like a whole bunch of.
He's like, I made it up.
Yeah,
I fucking pulled that shit out of my ass. Now, Eric, what is your take?
At least he's rich.
Yeah.
And not going to prison.
So here's my take on it. I think Satoshi was real. I don't think he was an agent of the government.
Eric's got too much at stake. He needs him to be real. I need Satoshi to be real.
I think he was born, or he did action out of the 2008 crisis, and he was so mad or upset about the manipulation and the insidious bankers of the world that he created this.
Yeah,
and then he died.
I mean, died. He just died, or was he killed?
No, he just died.
He's like off the sunset.
He just died, and then.
Well, you're just assuming that he's like some old dude.
I don't know. Or maybe but he died. I don't believe that a human
could not
being
take
could
50
not
billion.
Do something.
I know. I'd be like,
right?
oh,
something.
I know.
Like even look at Roaring Kitty.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll sell a little bit.
Came
it's
back.
Like a taste.
He came back after 3 years.
Yeah.
There was no reason he didn't need to do that.
No, he didn't need to.
Yeah. And I dig the guy. I think he's cool, but Satoshi didn't.
Especially when it became like the biggest.
And it's 100 times bigger.
100 million times bigger.
Yes.
Jesus.
So I think he just died. And then I think this is a self-created thing. And then
I want to believe what
and
Eric's
then the
saying.
governments,
I really do.
Now the governments are going, holy shit, what if this goes to $1 million?
Oh, they're like, we got to be a part of this.
So as a hedge,
they're buying all of it. Yeah, the ETFs
like BlackRock.
Yeah. They're like, give
me 10% of it.
As much as you got, we'll buy it.
As a hedge.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And it's a wild card. It's a fucking wild card.
That's actually a good theory. It's actually a good theory.
Yeah. There you go. That's what I got.
What do you guys think?
So you think in the future?
I think it's up to the masses. Honestly, it's a mass. I don't know if it's good or bad. It could be bad.
It could say, yeah.
Because there's mass hysteria.
So one day you're gonna go to fucking you go to Taco Bell and you're gonna pay with your Bitcoin.
Or a fork of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bitcoin plus.
I think the transaction fees alone are not worth.
No,
not worth.
They haven't got that. They haven't got that figured out.
Right.
They haven't got that.
But now it's kind of turned into this weird asset, like a weird retirement asset, like gold. Like if you ever meet like a dude who's like, I got like 20 grand of silver under my bed.
Yeah, but the thing is,
same
like,
kind of concept.
Yeah. But you know that gold and silver are never going to change.
Now there's another quick. There's another whole thing about it, which is the whole blockchain technology and how you can use it just to transfer assets from one person to another.
So it's perfect.
So people have sold their house, right? With this technology.
Yeah.
You think that's going to get rolled out in the future?
I think it should.
I think it's already part of our system now. Okay. Yeah, I think some of the blockchain contracts are already part of our system. We don't even know it.
Especially with this whole AI rolling out, like it's getting.
I mean, you mix blockchain
bigger and bigger.
with AI.
Oh man, it's like fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what I do anymore. for a living.
I just feed the machine.
We're just gonna podcast all day and let the AI do everything.
That's why we need you as a Patreon. Give us that Patreon,
please.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're sweating to death.
Yeah.
Please tell us your thoughts. Love to hear back from you guys.
We love it.
And as always, nighty night.